Well, over the years on ACCA, we've been spun a few yarns, but this one's going to be hard to top. Jamie Winder didn't know when to stop. Her web of lies covered everything from family deaths to terminal cancer, until a group of brave women said enough.
You just don't comprehend that anyone could do this.
You look really well for someone who's had terminal cancer multiple times.
I immediately thought, it's not real.
You were terminal 2 years ago. What's happened? Is it a miracle recovery?
If only she could see what damage she's caused to people.
This is a story that's baffled people around the world. It started in England, then Perth, and now brings us here to the Queensland outback town of Mount Isa. The people you're about to meet have all had the same misfortune, befriending a woman called Jamie Winder. At a function room in the heart of town, a group of people gather to explain how Jamie Winder has turned their lives upside down. Why are you here tonight?
I'm here because I want Jamie to stop. I think she's hurt enough people.
Christy Leslie accompanied Jamie on one of several bucket list trips to see more of Australia, as she apparently had just weeks to live. That was 2 years ago.
I still find it really, really hard to believe that someone could be so deceitful and deceptive of people with such hearts.
Take your watch off? Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it off for you. Yeah.
This video captures one of hundreds of seizures Jamie Winder appeared to suffer in front of friends and work colleagues.
It's all right.
Well, they were pretty intense. I'd never seen anything like that before.
On this occasion, she'd asked a friend to film it after telling them doctors could find nothing wrong with her.
Is it like a cramp? Does it feel like a cramp? You're putting your fingernails right through your skin.
Leaving like deep, deep red marks all over her arms where she was biting herself because she said the pain was that intense.
Jamie would get annoyed if concerned colleagues tried to call an ambulance.
She would be very, no, don't call the ambulance. I'm okay.
Helen McClure says Jamie also reported suffering severe bruising to her legs, with this photo circulating as proof. They now believe it's a fake.
You know, if someone sends you a picture of their bruise, you don't zoom in and analyse it. It's someone's bruised leg.
What's your perception of that photo now when you look at it through a different lens?
Fairly obvious that it is makeup. It's not a bruise.
Other friends received this picture of a stomach wound, which they also now believe to be fake. Along with the seizures, Jamie sometimes presented with blood residue inside her ears. All of these medical dramas had started just weeks after Jamie told colleagues of some shocking news from back home in England. Her mother, Jill Winder, had died of cancer, causing her father, Charlie Winder, to take his own life. It would later emerge that both parents were still alive.
And you just don't ask people when they say that happened. You don't ask them. And you don't say that's strange. You don't say that's weird, and you don't probe because you're told that.
But this wasn't the first time Jamie Winder had falsely reported her mother's death. A year earlier, on the other side of the country, she told friends in Perth her mum had died even more tragically.
I heard from Sarah that Jamie had contacted her and told her that she walked in and found her mum had suicided in her house.
Chelsea, Sarah and Jennifer were colleagues and close friends. They had posted this picture from a girls' trip away, dropping Jamie home where she made the alleged discovery.
I guess I was thinking, I wish I would have walked her into her own house, and I wish I would have been with her when she had found her mum, so she wasn't alone when she was in that situation.
She was worried about how she would fund her mum's body to be sent back to England. So us girls were working out a way to raise funds.
The tragedies just kept on coming, also informing colleagues that her ex-boyfriend, Peter Whitworth, had died of a brain aneurysm. Pete is also very much alive.
Hey, I'm Pete from the UK. A lot of you out there thought that I was dead, but I'm still here, alive and kicking.
He says Jamie Winder had also misled people in the UK about her mum dying, the first of at least 3 times she's now told that terrible story.
I can't believe that somebody could continue to lie about something which is so disturbing for so long.
Before Jamie's Perth friends discovered the truth about her parents, the lies she was spinning became even more twisted, telling them she now had cancer.
Oh, I was so worried. I was really stressed. I was, I suppose, maybe a little bit scared because obviously the cancer apparently progressed.
Jennifer became Jamie's carer, letting her move in with her as the cancer apparently progressed to stage 4.
I was washing her, feeding her, cleaning her, and then she would not be able to breathe at some points, and then other times she was fine, but it suited her.
She'd also spent months dropping Jamie to chemotherapy appointments at a Perth hospital, even sending this selfie from outside the cancer centre.
Starting round 2.
She was just standing outside the unit, like anybody could.
Jennifer was the one who picked apart Jamie's web of lies in Perth, getting admissions that her parents, Jill and Charlie Winder, were alive, and a confession that she had arranged a fake letter about her stage 4 cancer.
I actually thought it was like a dream. I was like, how is this even happening? How could somebody actually play it off so well? And how did I believe it?
5 years later, still have nightmares, still question who is who.
The admissions were devastating for Jamie's workplace too, which paid for a ticket to fly her back to the UK in 2019. A few months later, she resurfaced in Australia, this time landing a job in Mount Isa.
With Mount Isa, you make lifelong friends. We're all away from family. She most certainly was away from family. So we were it.
Jamie claimed doctors were blaming her seizures on the stress of her parents dying, but soon a more serious reason emerged: cancer again.
She got some x-rays and they'd found some shadows on her lungs and tumours in her legs. There was also tumours on her brain and she would require brain surgery.
That's a pretty severe diagnosis. What did you think at the time?
Oh, again, this poor girl.
And I suppose I was really horrified that any person had gone through so much in such little time.
Another caring colleague, Lisa Gallagher, became her main support person. She was with Jamie when she received a call revealing the cancer was now terminal.
Obviously, when you hear something like that, I was trying to process it myself and regulate my own emotions so I could be there to support Jamie. And seeing Jamie start to get visibly upset and look shocked in the moment, it seemed very real.
Dozens of caring people and their families all rallied around Jamie.
How much support did she receive from you guys when she had that cancer diagnosis?
We were her whole support team. Lisa took her into her home to help look after her. I know that we would take her out for lunches or take her out for dinners. There was anything and everything we did for her.
Jamie Winder provided a letter to her employer detailing the cancer diagnosis, including 3 cycles of chemotherapy and 10 sessions of radiotherapy. A hospital spokesperson has now confirmed that letter is fake.
We have no record of the letter. The doctors listed were not working at Mount Isa Hospital in January 2021.
Helen McClure assisted her in preparing a will, which included her wish to be cremated, no funeral required. They also arranged for a letter from her beloved Manchester United football team, encouraging her to stay strong. While Lisa Gallagher organised an incredible end-of-life trip, driving her supposedly terminally ill friend over 4,000 kilometres to the Gold Coast, returning via Noosa, Fraser Island and Airlie Beach, ticking off bucket list items before she died.
And she really wanted to experience some of the beauties in this country, before she passed. So she'd given us a timeline of 6 weeks. She said that's what the doctors had said.
Lisa says she paid for almost everything, also carrying a copy of Jamie's will, expecting any day could be her last.
That night I actively thought that she was going to die, and I put pillows and made a bed for her on the floor, and I lay beside her because I thought this is going to be it.
That was 2 years ago, and Jamie Winder seems to have made a miracle recovery.
Hi Jamie, Dan Nolan from A Current Affair. Just had a few questions we wanted to ask you. How's your cancer going at the moment?
What are you doing?
Do you still have cancer or what's happening?
We caught up with the 36-year-old, alive and seemingly well, in Logan, south of Brisbane.
Do you have cancer at the moment or not?
Unwilling to share any details for the many devastated people wanting answers.
You look really well for someone who's had terminal cancer multiple times. People accuse you, say that you're making that up, that you're lying about that.
There's a police investigation at the moment for people that have hacked my house.
We've been unable to confirm the existence of any police investigation initiated by Jamie Winder. Her devastated friends in Mount Isa complained to police after the story unravelled, thanks to Helen McClure's investigative work, connecting all the various stories from around the world.
I don't believe she's ever had terminal cancer. The emotional impact that she has had on us all is far, far greater than any financial impact that she had.
The emotional damage hit Lisa Gallagher hardest. She had let Jamie move in with her to pass her final days. That turned into 6 months of non-stop care while also working full-time caring for kids with special needs.
And poor bugger's been up all night having to care for her, and while she's having fits and everything, and still come into work and fulfil another role as a carer as well.
I stopped contacting my family as much because, I was spending so much time looking after her. I didn't have any time for anything else.
With Jamie's pain supposedly so bad, Lisa drove her to Townsville twice in 1 week to get medicinal cannabis. Another 40 hours and 4,000 kilometres of driving to help her dying friend.
How are you going to let someone that's literally at the end of their days travel 10 hours on a bus, when I could help?
Once Jamie's web of lies fell apart, she left town suddenly. Lisa packed up her room and discovered a container of what she says was fake Halloween blood.
It started to sink in that when she had the blood coming from her ears and nose and had splashed it around the house and things, it was obviously this fake blood.
You were terminal 2 years ago. What's happened? Is it a miracle recovery?
There's a police investigation.
But tell us, what would you say about that? They want some answers. And about your loved ones who died, who are still alive? Who would tell lies about their loved ones dying?
Leave me alone.
The meticulous planning behind what Jamie was able to achieve, I can't even comprehend the amount of energy and the amount of planning and the amount of cognitive ability to be able to do that. So that would suggest to me that she's very in control of what she does.
She was wrapped up in an immense amount of love and care, and she took advantage of that. She abused that.
The impact of those lies has been far-reaching in this tight-knit community.
She is disgusting. If only she could see what damage she's caused to people. It's not okay, it's not fair. Even my kids, even my youngest still asks, is Jamie still sick?
Many in this circle of friends are still heartbroken, grieving the loss of the Jamie persona they knew.
That person that we cared for, that person that we loved, that person that we shared so many memories, so many good times, some really sad and hard times. That person didn't exist.
They hope Jamie can get help for why she has misled close friends all around the world, but are now speaking out in the hope it finally stops.
We tried talking to her family. We tried talking to Jamie. We tried talking to the police. We've tried every avenue, and all we want to do is help other people to not have to go through what we did, because nobody deserves that.
These people cared for you in what they thought were your dying days. Why would you do that to them?
Do you ever wonder why she keeps doing this?
I always wonder why. I continuously wonder why. It's at a point of it needs to stop. It's not about why, it's about stopping it.
Jamie Winder fooled everyone for a long time that she had terminal cancer. Her lies were endless. Well, Dan Nolan joins me in the studio. Dan, how did these women uncover her deceit?
So, Ali, they started to become suspicious of Jamie when Jamie told them that a stalker had come to the house and terrified her. She'd filmed it, apparently, and when the women heard it, one of them instantly said, "Oh my God, that's Jamie's voice." So they were onto her from that moment. They were also receiving messages from Jamie's sister in the UK. The sister was actually the one who would tell them a lot about her diagnosis and how tough she was doing it, writing messages like, "Look, she's really down this week, can you give us some more support?" They eventually worked out that UK number did not belong to the sister. It was actually Jamie's phone number,
Wow.
and they believe she was the one sending those messages.
So what have police had to say about it?
Well, not a whole lot, Ali, because we couldn't find any evidence of Jamie's claim that there ever was a police investigation happening. The women she misled did go to police, but there needs to be clear-cut financial benefits for potential fraud charges, which this case doesn't quite have. One woman said to me, though, that she would have preferred it if Jamie had just taken $10,000 and fled. That would be easier to cop than the emotional damage they've all suffered. Imagine waiting every day for months for a call that your dear friend has just died and then discovering it wasn't true. So those women have suffered severe emotional trauma, and still to this day, Ali, they don't know who they can trust.
I mean, it's so incredibly sad for them, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dan.